does that even mean, Bowers game corner?
Ahoy there, YouTube! I'm back again today for another game review, and a special adults-only party game review. And today, I'm very excited checking out BadMoji from Gray Matter Games. This is for 3 to 6 players, or 3 to 6 teams, taking about 20 to 30 minutes to play, and it's for ages 17 plus. And in BadMoji, this is a really simple game in which you are going to have cards that are going to be presented to you in the middle of the table that are going to have emojis on them, and you have to figure out the adult dirty message that is said in those emojis. If you do, you're going to get the card, you're going to get the points, and whoever gets the most points is going to be the winner of the game. It's a very light, simple party game, but is it good? Let's open it up, and I'll tell you what I think. Alrighty then, we're going to take a look at what you're going to get inside of BadMoji. So first and foremost, we have a handy-dandy rule sheet. It is one page, single-sided, because the back is just components and different other games. And it's shockingly not that good. It really is not a well-done rule sheet for how short this thing is. You think you could have knocked this thing out in 5 minutes, but they missed two big things. So the first thing is they fumbled over their words hardcore trying to say that everyone is going to be the BadMoji host twice. I don't understand how they did it, but it's just not as clear as you would like to be. And they also don't tell you that the BadMoji host cannot gain points, which I'm 99% sure is how it's supposed to work. They also don't clarify whether or not you get one guess or whether you can just keep guessing and guess a whole bunch of things, or exactly how that works. They really leave a lot open to interpretation, which is fine in some games, and it might be fine in this game to you, but come on, at least make it clear on your stupid little rule sheet. But continuing onward, let's get into the game. Let's show you how it plays, because it is a really simple game. So in BadMoji, you're going to have a whole bunch of these cards, which are going to have different emojis on them that will mean different things. If you're the first person to say what those things mean, you will get the points, and whoever has the most points at the end of the game will be the winner of the game. So when you're first starting the game, you have to decide who's going to be the BadMoji host, the first BadMoji host, and that is going to be passed around the table. Everyone is going to have an opportunity to be the BadMoji host 2 times. See, wasn't that hard to do? Next, what you're going to do is the BadMoji host presumably is going to read the back of the card and then show everybody what it is. So for instance, this one is Sloppy Seconds. They put it out in the middle of the table so everyone can see it, and then other people are going to start guessing. Now, there is no rhyme or reason to how this is supposed to happen because it doesn't list in the rules. How we played is people just kind of shouted things out until somebody eventually got it correct. So eventually somebody might say Sloppy Seconds, so you just give them the card and say, it was Sloppy Seconds. There you go, you get the point. And then you do this until... you don't do it for 5 cards. You do it until 5 people have gotten something correct, or until 5 of the cards have been guessed correctly. Now, there is also the potential that someone can get them wrong, which after 30 seconds, you just kind of pass the card to the side and you do a different card. And that one, I don't believe, counts towards your 5 quota, which is kind of weird. But anywho, so let's see if we can get a couple of these. Net down, trunk. Nut down, trunk. Junk in the trunk. Junk in the trunk. Yeah. So there you go. That's one of them. Peach plug. Peach ass plug. Ass plug. Boom. Butt plug. Close enough. That guy would probably give me credit for that one, so I get the credit for that one. Dick pic. Boom. A dick pic, but whatever. Get your credit for it. Let's see. Fart up girl. Fart up girl. Blow up doll. Blow up doll. Oh, nailed it. Let's see. We got one more because we've done 4 this round. Let's see. Pants plus pool. Pants pool. Pants pool. Pants sand. Pants part. Ass pool. Pocket pool. Pocket pool. That was a good one. Okay. And then so I've done 5 of them. So the next person would go on to it. And I do want to reiterate that I'm pretty sure the host actually cannot score the points, but obviously I'm the only person here, so I'm just going to do it. And then the next person would read 5 out loud, then the next person would read 5 out loud, and the next person would read 5 out loud, and then it would get back to the original host, and then I'd do 5 more, 5 more, 5 more, 5 more, until everyone's had the opportunity to do 5 of them, in which people have guessed them correctly. Once that has happened, and everyone's done that 2 times, been the host 2 times, you will tally up the points, and whoever has the most points will be the winner of the game. Also, in case you're wondering, I will look it up for you, there is 200 of these cards right here. So there's a really good deal of them. It's not the kind of thing where you're going to be flashing through them really quickly and then remembering what they were. And there you go. That is what you're going to get inside of BadMoji. Alrighty then, BadMoji from Gray Matter Games. What are my final thoughts? Let's go over the pros, let's go over the cons. Before we do that, I do want to clarify that I have not played this as teams, so I can't really speak to how it plays if you're playing with teams. I've only got a chance to play it 2 times, once at 4 players and once at 6 players. So that's what you're going to hear my impressions on. Continuing on with the cons. The game obviously is an adults-only game, which is going to knock out a huge market for this game, which is unfortunate because I'd like to see a suitable for work version of this because I think the kids in my class would really get a kick out of trying to figure these out. Also on the con side, it's a very light, simple game. It's incredibly simple. There is no strategy to this game whatsoever. It's just look at the emojis and try and figure out the inappropriate thing or the dirty thing they're talking about. If you do that well, you're going to get points. If you don't do that well, you're not going to get points, and it's really quite that simple. The biggest con that I have with this game is the rules. And the rules, you will figure out how to play the game with these rules, and it won't be that frustrating. But for me, it's that frustrating because it reeks of laziness. This game, I would be willing to bet money that this game was not blind play tested because there's these rules that are not in the rule booklet that are such obvious oversights as long as you're not the designer of the game. So in case you don't know, blind play testing is when you give an early prototype of the game to somebody with a copy of the rules and you just watch them play. You do not help them at all. You do not say anything. You just watch them play. You see the mistakes they make, and then you take those mistakes, you figure out why they made those mistakes, and then you add that information into the rule booklet. It's a very simple process, especially with a game like this, but it's very blatantly obvious that they did not do this with this game because there's two or three things where you're just kind of infer, like, I think this is how you're supposed to do it. I think this is how this part of it works. Whereas an extra sentence, really 3 sentences, could have completely made this rule booklet better, and they didn't put them in there because I'm going to guess they did not blind play test. It will not hinder you learning how to play the game, but for me personally, as someone who reads a lot of rule booklets and plays a lot of games, it really annoys me when people do that. But that being said, the rules aren't as good as you'd like them to be. Any other cons I have with the game? There's 200 cards, which is both a pro and a con. With a game like this, where there's next to nothing to do in the game. It's literally just looking at the cards and trying to figure it out. You will start to remember some cards if you really played through it a whole bunch of times, especially the more complex cards or the more memorable cards, and that will give you a leg up. It is what it is. If you play the game that much, then I guess you're getting your money's worth out of it, so you don't really mind. And if you don't play the game that much, then this isn't going to be an issue. So either way, yin and yang there. Any other cons I have with the game? Not really, because moving on to the pros, it's a light, simple game, and it's fun. I had fun with it. We played it twice. I enjoyed it. We laughed. Everybody I played it with got a kick out of trying to figure out the emojis. And I will say my favorite part about this game is the sense of being clever that it gives to you. Most of the time, I don't say that about party games, because party games, they just don't do it. I look at a game like, say, Cryptid up here, which is a game all about trying to deduce and figure out exactly where a monster is on a board with the information you have. And it gives you, when you finally figure stuff out, it makes you go, aha! And it gives you that aha moment, that clever moment, like, I'm so clever. Same with like escape room games or stuff like that, like Exit, Unlock, games like that. You don't expect that from a party game, but this game actually gives you those little feels for like when you've been staring at this card for like 15, 20 seconds, you're like, bottom, ass pool, pants pool, and they're like, wait, pocket pool! And then you're like, yeah! And everyone's like, oh, pocket pool. And you feel clever, and you get the card, you get the points. And that's one of my favorite moments of this game. I also just thought it was funny, seeing how all the emojis connected together. And for the most part, the emoji cards work well. We did run into a couple of them where it's like, that one's a little bit of a stretch. But for the most part, they are well done, and they did put some thought into how these emojis would connect together. I feel like the points are pretty well balanced. The 1-pointers are a lot easier than the 3-pointers. And in the end, I had fun with the game. We laughed at the game, I had fun with the game, and I'm going to give this game to my buddy who pretty much keeps all my adult party games, and I think this one will get played from time to time. Easy to learn, quote unquote, incredibly easy to teach, super simple game. It's the kind of game you don't really have to put too much thought into. You can be completely blitzed in one way or the other, and you can still play and enjoy this game. The cards are large, which I like. They're a little bit flimsy, but they're big, and you're not really going to be shuffling that much. You're just going to be mixing them up from time to time. And in the end, this is a good game. BadMoji. I can recommend the game. We had fun with the game, and I'm going to be keeping it in my party game collection at my buddy's house because I have way, way, way too many games. And I do think it will get played, though. I do think it will get replayed, though. So if this looks like it might be your cup of tea, I think you will enjoy it, and I can recommend it. If you enjoyed this review, please be sure to click on that subscribe button down below and in the comments below. Let me know, how often do you use emojis? For me personally, I use them pretty frequently, but I use them a lot in like the joke context where it's like, I like to use like really, I like to use ones that are inappropriate to the situation. Like maybe I'm talking to my buddy about something super serious or super sad. I'll just put like a, one of those Facebook ones that's like a unicorn smoking or something like that. I like to use really appropriate ones to kind of break the ice and crack the sense of, that's just my sense of humor. But let me know in the comments below. Emojis, how often do you use them? And as always, thanks for your time, YouTube.